Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. Today someone has requested that I do our level 1 to 14 bracket OP build setup. Now just a disclaimer, my character is not the best character you can make. I did mess up when making my character, so hopefully this video will help you get the best character and help you wreck in the 1 to 14 bracket if that's what you're looking to do. It's not as good as it used to be, the 1 to 14 bracket, but you know, apparently some people still play it, so I'm going to be showing you what to do. So first of all is your wing techs. So once you get your character leveled up, what you want to be doing is going into your medical wing. Most likely do all the medical missions that you can do. As you can see, I don't have the super. You do want the super though. You do want the first aid heal, you do want the box, you do want the super. If you want the pulse, you can have the pulse. You do want this intensive care, you want the hazmat unit. You don't really need adrenaline here, so I wouldn't go for it unless you're going for a healer build for triage, then sure. I would you get this? What does it give you here, perks? Yeah, for the virus filter, you're gonna need it. Critical save is probably one of the best talents, get this. And then combat medic strike back, if you need that, if you want it, get it. So I'm on 70% wing there. Now let's have a look at the things that I'm using. In abilities, this is what I have. You know, I don't have much. I have the first aid, the support station, and the turret. I like to use fire turret and a heal, just a normal heal. So yeah, that's that. Now we're gonna get into gear. So just make sure you get as much medical tech as you can, and then whatever kind of other abilities you want to use, try and get one of those or 2 of those, 3 of those if you can. So now we're going to jump into gear, because that is the main part. I'm going to be talking about gear, best roles on your gear, and where to get all this gear from. So as you can see, this is my build at the minute. It is still a work in progress, but I don't really play on the 1 to 14. But this is an equalizer build, as I like to call it. As you can see, 7,000 primary firepower, 11,000 toughness, and nearly 8,000 skill power. So it's an equalizer build. First of all, let's jump into the gear. So the armor rolls that you want to be heading for is around about 89 to 90. You know, you want about 90 armor roll being your max. The rolls you're going to want on this, it depends how you're making your build. If you want to make an equalizer build like mine, I've gone into electronics. And a lot of people would then do the major attribute as health. I don't think that is a good idea. Simply because it's only giving you 735 health. It's not even giving you 1,000 health. So for my optimal build, I would rather go into skill haste. So that 3 to 4% skill haste, I think helps me out way better than health and kill or health. On the minor attribute, we have increased kill XP, which you don't want really. What you do want is ammo capacity, which will help you out a little bit in your ammo stock. But that is that. The next thing we're going to look at is the backpack. On the backpack, as you can see, we're rolled into stamina and electronics just a little bit. The minor attribute is health. You can just get rid of this health if you want to and go with skill power. That's another optimal thing you can do, which I would recommend. And on your backpack, you definitely need bleed resilience. So yeah, just roll that into skill power basically. On the mask, what you need is a riot mask. I forgot to say about the armor. What you want to be doing here is armor of around 60 on the mask. You want to be getting armors of around 45 is quite high armor rolls. Rolled this into firearms, as you can see, and I got skill power and damage to elites. Now a lot of people would say you don't mean to have damage to elites there. I actually farm that piece. I farm pretty much all my masks for damage to elites if possible, because you need to do damage to elites sometimes, and you know that just stacking it a little bit just helps your DPS out to do damage to elites. I'll go for armor rolls of about 45 here, so I'm nearly max. On the knee pads, I'd go for armor rolls of about 75. So as you can see, my Riot 68 armor knee pads are pretty low. Well, I've got some 73s here. They just don't work out from a build as good as the 68 ones here. So I'm running stamina and electronics with health. Now I do recommend that you put health down here, since skill power isn't very optimal down here. It's a big chunk of skill power, but you know, you do need your health rolls in some places, and the knee pads is probably the best place to put the health roll. Now what you're going to want in the minor attributes is bleed resilience, which I don't have here, and things like damage to elites would be good. So bleed resistance, resilience and damage to elites on the knee pads would be good. What you want are these really rare gloves that I've got, the mechanic originals, because they're one of the hardest gloves to get in the level 1 to 14 bracket. I don't know if you can still pick them up to this day. I think you can, but they are really rare, so I'm going to show you how to get them pretty quickly off of you know, the loot system that I used. But what you're going to want is assault rifle damage and skill haste. That is the only two things that you're going to want on here, your weapon damage and your skill haste. So you could go SMG damage, shotgun damage and skill haste, and these are rolled into electronics. These mechanic gloves are the best. If you can get them rolled to around 45 armor, then you're going to be, you know, good to go. As you can see, all these other gloves are just expedition or riot gloves. The riot gloves, if you don't have the mechanic originals, which I'll show you how to get a little later on, you know, farming, I wouldn't use expedition. Go ahead and try and get some riot gloves, because the armor on these normally boosts up a little bit higher. But as you can see, I got an SMG damage on those and crit damage, so I'd probably change that crit damage for skill haste, and then that would be a good SMG build roll. So yeah, but try and look for those mechanic original, because they're absolutely god. When it comes to the armor rolls on them, you want to be looking for about anywhere from 45 up to about 60 for the mechanic originals, which, you know, are really hard to farm now. And the holster, I got an expedition holster. I'm not really proud of that. I'm looking for, you know, a good riot one. I would be using this, but as you see, it doesn't have skill haste on, so it's a little bit different, because I think you definitely need skill haste as your major attribute here, instead of reload speed, which just puts your DPS up, but it's really not that great. Health is not worth it. 350 health points, not worth it. But yeah, now onto the sort of mods that I'm using. I'm using skill power mod on the chest piece. I'm running skill power mod on the knee pads, and a skill power mod on the backpack also. And on the performance mods, I'm using 2.50 first aid self heal, the same here, the self heal, and the same here for the self heal. So that's sort of the build. Now let's talk about the stats a little bit, and then we'll jump into weapons. So the stats, you want to keep your firearms around 200. You don't want to really stack in more than 188 is fine. When you have 188, you can get most talents in the game. As you can see, this is 140. You got 140 there, 188 there, 188 there. So as you can see, 188 there, 88 there, 188 there, and 140 there. So keeping it around just above or on the 188 firearms mark is what you pretty much want to be doing. For the stamina, you want to stack it at about 250. As you can see, you need about 235 for most things. I like to stack mine a little bit higher. I like it around about 12,000 toughness, so anywhere from 250 up to 300 stamina is key. Once you've got all your max rolls and optimizations, it's pretty easy. And your electronics, you want to keep that about 235, so you can use your more electronic talents like intense, which is OP. Alright, so that's on to the firearm stamina and electronics. Now we're going to talk about primary firepower, the DMG, the toughness and the skill power. Let's get into toughness first. So like I said, toughness, it depends what kind of build you're running. If you're running an overall normal sort of build, you want to be running about 12,000 toughness. If you're running a tank build and you want to try and get as much toughness as possible, you want to be sat around 20 to 25,000 toughness. And if you're running a skill power build, you probably want to be sat as low as 5,000 toughness, which is different, but that is definitely team orientated. Onto the skill power. My skill power level, I like to keep it around 8,000 skill power on an overall average build between, you know, firearm stamina and electronics, because this gives me a heal from 0 health to full 3 bars of health, as well as keeping the toughness at about 12,000, which is a pretty good average against other players. If you go into a skill power build, you're going into a healer, you're going to want to get about 15,000 skill power, because your heals will be doing about 6 to 8, nearly 1,000 healing per second, which means if your teammates have 12,000 toughness, they're gonna in 12 seconds be back on full health. It probably won't even take 12 seconds, to be honest. So yeah, it's really good healing. If you have, you know, 15,000 skill power, I'll try and go for around about that. So now into the primary firepower. If I'm speaking on my normal build, which is this build, I want to keep it around 8,000 also, or just above that 7,000 mark. And the way I like to judge this, if we go into the guns where it says DMG, I like to keep that above 700 for both weapons. So as you see, the AUG A3 Para XS is just above 700, and the lightweight M4 is at 720. Now as you can see, the AK is at 900 DMG, but the RPM is only at 600. So AK like this wouldn't be a very good viable weapon. The G36C is at an RPM 100 RPM lower, but has 10 DMG more, which also wouldn't be very worth it. So, you know, just keep to what you're using. And this has a 950 RPM with a lower DMG. It's viable, but the magazine size is very low. Okay, so now let's get into my weapon talents, how I'm running my build for DPS and survivability. So the talents are everything when it comes to builds. So my lightweight M4 has a DMG of 720, RPM of 860, nearly 870, and my mag size is 41. Now I could up my mag size, I believe. No, it doesn't look like it. We'll get into mods later anyway. But the talent we're using on the lightweight M4, which I recommend you to use, is intense. The first bullet of a magazine has 25% chance to apply the fire status onto the target. So if you're in PvP, this 25% is actually really good, because I'm also going to be using a flame turret. So basically I'm just setting my opponents on fire like 100% of the time, and that makes them you know, set on fire, may make them bleed afterwards, and they're just not going to have a fun time. The mods I'm using, the magazine is 38% magazine size, a 2.2 rate of fire. For the sight, the large optic, I'm using a 2.50 crit chance and a 2 crit damage. For the suppressor, I'm using 8 crit damage, 2 headshot, and 27 reduced threat. Reduced threat means nothing basically. It's just what a silencer has on it. For the grip, I'm using 7 crit damage and 0.50 stability, which helps out just a little bit. Onto the AUG. For the AUG, it's a submachine gun which is given as 12.50 critical hit chance, a DMG of 707, RPM of 725 stat, and a magazine of 25 stat, which has now been put up to just over 31, I think. I'm not going to do maths, can't be asked. But as you can see, I'm using Predatory on it. I'm not using my Unforgiven one because this is for sustainability. So killing a target regenerates 35% health over 20 seconds. For the magazine, I'm using 36% magazine size, 2% rate of fire. For the sight, I'm using 8 crit damage, 1 stability. For the suppressor, I'm using 3 critical hit chance, 2 headshot damage, and 28 reduced threat. And for the grip, I'm using 6 crit damage and 0.50% accuracy. So the lightweight M4 is my damage and fire setter build gun, let's say, and the AUG is when a person's down and I don't need my skills back, I can get that Predatory if I'm if you know I'm low health or whatever. Now, in the other hand, if I am you know, my skills aren't back yet, I can go ahead and put someone down with this. It does a DMG of 5,784. It will literally one-shot a level 12 probably. The stagger is 23.50%, 200 RPMs, and a 2 mag size, and it has determined on it. Killing target reduces all skill cooldowns by 7.50%. That is what you want to use when you need your skills back or your signature. So yeah, this is sort of how, you know, you want to set up your build. I'm going to show you how to get an easy full set build that's like pretty average. I'm going to be showing you that in a minute at what checkpoint to go to. First of all, I just want to speak about, you know, all kinds of different builds. So this is my skill power build. I'm thinking, let me see what it says. It just says echo. It's not my skill power build. This is just a toughness and skill power build if you want to do it that way without talents. I have a toughness solo build here, so I'm trying to keep my shotgun vicious talent because shotgun vicious is pretty good. So as you can see, no skill power, it's not too great. My skill power build right here, nearly 13,000 skill power, still working on it. It works, you know, alright. As you can see, low toughness though. And my tank build sat at 20,000 toughness, which is hard to get through, but you need skill power down here, so this is probably the best build that I've got set out, since it works in every aspect: DPS, toughness, and skill power. So right now what I'm going to be doing is showing you where to get a full gear set from, or you know, a full set of gear to get you started out in the dark zone, just in case you haven't already got set up. Sorry, I just had to mute my mic. I sneezed there. Jesus. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you where to get this gear. So if you can, or if you know, whatever, if you go over to, I think it is East 58, I haven't checked, so we're going to go there and just check. If not, it's the one above. But if you just run over to one of these from the DZ checkpoints you have, I did it, and then you should be able to get a full set of gear, which is going to be very cool. So let's just check out this vendor right here. Yes, as you can see, so it is this one. It is East 58th Street, and as you can see, he has a full set of gear here. if you're starting out, you can't buy these level 50 mods, which is, you know, sad. But yeah, so if you need something that to start you off, good gear, come over here. It has pretty much all the roles that you're going to be wanting, or all the roles that you can change very easily. So yeah, come over to this checkpoint if you need it. What I recommend on how to get better gear is run DZO 1 and 2. So you're going to start here, you're going to go into the underground, you're going to collect all the boxes throughout the back alley, you're going to come out at checkpoint 2, run up, and down the side alley there's a box there, run up the stairs, there's a box up the top. If you run down here towards this landmark, there's another box down there, and then you do a loop back. By the time you grab the box here also, and the box over here, you'll have about 9 boxes. I have done a loot run up on my channel, so if you want to go check that out, I'll try and link it in the description, showing you what I mean when I just said all that. The talents I use is on the move, kill a hostile while moving to reduce incoming damage by 15% for 10 seconds, or you know, use a med kit during low health to increase damage resilience by 20% for 10 seconds. I like on the move better because it's not, you can't use it, you know, 5 times, you can use it unlimited times, whereas you only have 5 med kits per life. Anyway, so this has been how to set up a level 1 to 14 character in-depth guide. If I've missed anything that, you know, you really need to see, then just comment it down below and I'll try and talk to you in the comments and try and help you out. Sorry if this has been a super long video, but someone asked for it, an in-depth guide on how to become very good at the level 1 to 14. So if this helped you in any way, please smash that like button. If you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate everyone for watching. Peace out.